Hello everybody, welcome back to Let's Play Hearts of Iron 4, the new order as Siberian Free Territory. Let us continue on from where we last left off. So, what decisions we have available right now? We can try to improve some stuff. We do have 50 political power, so we can get some regional development done. What would we want, though? That's a great question. We probably want to increase our GDP a little bit. Infrastructure is okay. Bonus towards industry is not bad. Economic base, you know what? Yeah, moderately increase the GDP. Seems pretty good. Spend all our political power on that, just so we can maybe research things a little bit faster in the future. We are still about 2.5-ish years away from where we're able to declare war on Eastern Siberia. We'll probably want to get that done, you know, as soon as we possibly can. At least I believe it is the 1st, right? Is it the 1st of January, 1969? Look, I'm trying to... Okay, so it looks like the Vietnamese communists have taken over the country there. Yeah, January 1st, 1969. That's when we'll be able to do some of these other abilities here. We're still trying to get tanks for peace. Because we are building a handful of tank divisions, right? Yes. Because I think a handful of tank divisions are really going to be able to turn... Okay, the Black Army is getting a little bit more powerful. That's fine. We will be able to pretty decisively win some battles, I would say, if we have a handful of tanks on our side. Be really nice for us to have. So once you're done, I mean, research bonuses to the tanks are okay. I don't know how much we're really going to be able to effectively use that. Military egalitarianism would not be a bad idea. But of course, we do need all of these before we can actually finish off our decision here. Which, of course, we are going to go for an army of liberation because we all want to go on the offense as much as humanly possible. We're not really going to want to defend anything. We'll defend the revolution, or we're going to attack everybody else. And I think that makes a decent amount of sense. So we got our tanks for peace. We'll follow that up with helicopter bonuses, light aircraft. We'll see what military egalitarianism is first. It really doesn't make a huge deal in which order we go with these, especially since we don't actually have any research slots available at the moment. At least not for another month or so. Right now it is October 1966. Of course, that's how we had to do our economy focuses here. And I'm looking at the economy, and I'm thinking, like, will this all be ready by 1969? Is this 2 years worth of focuses? I would say no, probably not, right? Like, it seems like if we finish all of our military focuses, Japan and America has recognized the Omsk government. That seems like it could be a little bit risky for us. Because now you have some legitimacy in the world. Does that give you any benefits here? Integrate the NKVD. Got some gulags. But as far as I can tell, it doesn't seem like recognition changed too much here, which is good for us. You're no longer ultra-nationalist. Agent in Kazakhstan. Is there anything we can do in Kazakhstan? I don't think so. Which kind of sucks. I would like to do some more stuff down there. So is there anything else we want to do in General Assembly? I honestly don't think so. Like, right now, we are losing a little bit of party popularity. Mostly, I think, because of the despot increases. But I don't think we're ever going to get... We're not at any risk of this becoming too powerful. Because then it's going to give us another 5%. And at 0.1% loss... No, 0.01% daily loss... That's still going to take, like, what, 500 days or something like that for it actually to completely go into nothingness. I guess we'll go for light aircraft bonuses, because we do actually have some light aircraft in our Air Force. The system perfected. Companion Nestor bounded his foot into the lobby of the waiting room, scanning his eyes around the room and finding no one in it. Nets produced a small dagger from his backpack. He made a small incision into the wall, matching it with the other 27. One for each appeal. He found it a good way to keep track of how many times he'd been wronged by the corrupt Security Council, but also it was to send a message. People don't tolerate self-serving governments, especially around this part of Russia. He looked up to the clock on the wall. It would be any min. Nestor, fair-skinned secretary, poked her head out from a pair of thick white doors. The Assembly will see you now. The Assembly? Had she misspoke? He booked his appeal meeting with the Security Council. He was sure. That's the way he had done it for 27 times before, at least he thought. They begun to blur together to the 10th. She was probably mistaken. The building houses the Security Council and the General Assembly were merged during the move to Novosibirsk. Satisfied with his answer, Nestor rose from the seat with a grunt, pulled open the door, and walked in. Companion Nestor! If this was the Security Council, it had gained about 100 or so members overnight. I hope your wait wasn't too long. Nestor mumbled around, dismissing his concern. Well, it looks like you're in for your 27th appeal, is that right? Nestor nodded his head. Well, your record seems to fit the bill of an officer. You served gallantly against the Red Army in Mongolia and continued to advocate for anarchism since. Nestor was in shock. Not only was they not immediately disregarding him, the people of General Assembly seemed eager to welcome him aboard. Very well then. I'll open up this body for voting on the promotion of commanding Nestor to the rank of officer. The vote is unanimous. So it took 27 times. But he got there in the end, so congratulations to Nestor there. Trying to see, like, so many points here. But we need to eventually save our points. Weekly manpower, increase GDP. Manpower right now. It's currently modified to 171%. Which to me seems pretty good. So our cap is supposed to be 2.5. But we have 4.2% in the army right now. Our poverty rate's still pretty bad. The veterans are a little bit disgruntled. And we have basic mechanization. I'm sure we might even be able to hit 200% at some point in the future. Would be really nice. But now that we have research bonuses towards the main battle tank, let's upgrade those. It's going to take 108 days, but it's not so bad, honestly. And for our light aircraft, what would we want? I mean, we still need to research jet engines if we want to upgrade these things at all. I wonder if you will give us a bonus towards jet engines. Because if you don't, it's a little bit of a waste of our time, as unfortunate as that is. Soviet infrastructure. Yeah, you know what? We'll improve that as well. Get some more infrastructure in the country seems like an okay choice for us. We are missing 9 rubber. But I don't have any factories I can actually use to trade quite yet. And you are negative 15 political power because we're now getting... The Black Army is losing some influence, which is okay. It's completely okay with us. Like, I'm not worried about that at all. So now you have finished. We will then go for experimental helicopter designs. So in 50 days, we'll have all of these focuses that we need to have finished entirely the military production tree, which is nice. Is there any negative modifiers to this? I know you're going to give us 3% despot. But not really. I mean, the recovery rate and the attack is pretty good. Because army for self-defense, organization goes up. But attack and defense on core territory, I think is kind of honestly garbage. Because you guys are Russian over here. Yeah, so I mean, most of us are Russian. That's okay. But I mean, we don't want attack and defense on core territory. Unless I can core all of Russia before the war. Which doesn't make any sense. You can't do that. Attack and defense on core territory is really, I think, just always been one of the worst modifiers you can possibly have. To be done in 12 days. So we will save up some of our research here for us to... I mean, again, the question is... I mean, we already have our research bonus for light aircraft. So what the hell am I talking about? But does that give us a bonus to jet engines? It doesn't. So I need to research jet engines now before I can actually even use that modifier. Which kind of sucks. I'll research it anyways because we kind of have to. I mean, it'll be done by the time we unify all of Russia anyways. And I still have no idea what's happening with these two guys. Maybe they will... I mean, German Sovereign Zone, Moscow Autonomy. Like, I still don't know if there's supposed to be 2 of them or not. Okay, so we got experimental helicopter designs. We'll then focus on getting our Army for Liberation up and running. A cold cabin. A composer nursed the glass of whiskey on the table. Outside was the frozen tundra of hell. He never stepped outside. He wouldn't if his life depended on it. He swirled a glass bitter scotch, fitting for a bitter old man. Kamov offered to fetch him something with a taste, but the composer denied him each time. The sickly man rose from his seat in the dining room and dragged himself to the frigid, poorly lit living room. For a living room, it was quite dead. Paint peeled from the walls and books gathered mildew. If one part of the room was alive, it was the grand piano tucked away in the corner, as if hiding from the misery that devoured the room. The composer shambled to the bench and sat. His fingers hovered over the keys. His hands descended to play. A knock on the door interrupted him. The composer chuckled to himself, very fitting. As he hobbled towards the door, the man smiled. He wasn't supposed to answer, but he was going to anyways. He could see why these people rebelled all the time. It felt good. Dmitri, said the man at the door. He spoke to him like a child. We know. The Confidence struck a chord with the composer, making him grin. You're proud of yourself, then. Just come inside. The old man turned and retreated back into the house. His guest inside followed suit. He pulled out a chair for the stranger and sat on his own. Is he here? Who, Kemov? So you know why I'm here. The composer threw back his head in laughter. Of course you came for the helicopter. I don't know why Kemov thought he could hide for such a creature. The designer in the second drawer for the nightstand. Dmitri grabbed the hand of the stranger and poured his soul into his eyes. Do some good, yeah? We get 100 transport helicopters. I'm not too sure. I mean, we can deploy them right now, just because we can. You are at 200. We actually want to switch you over to this airport then. We'll crank you up to be 400. Deploy the close air support. And we'll crank you up to 200. I think that seems okay. Little fires burn brightest. Bright orange. That's the color of love. Is it? Some will tell you that it's a dark, passionate red. Others will tell you that it's a deep blue to rival the darkest trenches of the ocean. Love is not a rainbow of colors built from the years spent. Learning, crying their eyes out, and screaming at the top of their lungs. Love is not a collection of experiences. Love is a spark, a wild and angry creature that thrashes around the person's heart the moment they see someone. The one. In that intense moment of first meeting, the brain is hijacked. All senses thrown to the wayside. Who needs the senses anyways? Love is pain, a battered and broken creature that has suffered too long inside your stomach. It yearns for freedom, for a miracle to escape from its cage. Yet it remains dormant and docile. Love. Love is a broken promise, a jealous and British creature, tired of putting up with the non-existent bullshit. It rips open its chest and pulls out its beating heart and demands its partner shatter it on the ground and turn away as its pieces scatter to the wind. Love is forgiveness, a remorseful and pitiful creature which clogs up the organs of the body that's with sorrows, pushing them up the throat with all their might. Love is an instant, a moment of connection between two people that sets them on a course for the rest of their lives. They might think they know love, but one doesn't feel it until the moment it makes itself known. Above all else, love is victorious. LGBT rights, so now we accept the LGBT community. We get more population and 10% more stability. We're already at 100%. So we now accept... I guess that's in social then. Is that the highest you can have it? Yes. So we still got equal rights for our minorities. We could go for affirmative action sometime in the future. We're getting all these things just trending upwards over and over and over and again, which is really nice. And I think most of these actually should be finished soon. Yeah, you'll be finished in 2 months. You're at 10, which is, it's going up by 1 a month. So you're actually going to take forever. But we'll try to get our academic base to increase a little bit over time. You'll be done soon. You'll be done soon. I mean, a lot of these things are going to be finishing rather quickly. Yeah, you're at 210. All of that is great for us. I mean, it's really just more bonuses that we can use, especially against our neighbors here. I don't know how powerful they are. Omsk still does worry me a little bit. I don't think there's anything we could say against that. Because I think, are they the second biggest army right now? 28. Yeah, no, they are definitely the second biggest. Which is worrying. But if we can get these guys to go to war, we unify all of Siberia, I'll feel pretty okay with where we kind of stand at that point. We now have our Army of Liberation. Now we can finish up our final tree here. So less than 2 years. Less than 2 years from now, we can cross over the frozen hellhole of Siberia, conquer you guys, which will be nice for us. The question is, I mean, I guess they can theoretically attack us first. I don't know if they had the same requirement of waiting until 1969 in order to invade. If they don't, and they can invade us earlier, honestly, that's okay. Okay, the Black Army's gotten a little bit more powerful. But again, it really doesn't mean too much to us, as far as I'm concerned. Yes, we're going to increase our GDP growth at the cost of $60 million. I mean, we are spending a lot of money right now on our spending. Okay, so our annual budget is $6.7 billion. We are spending more than that, but honestly not that much more. We do now have some motorized divisions and some tanks here as well. We're going to send those over to Blue Army. And I only want you guys to deploy once, right? Yes. I don't need you to. Just one more division. You should be good. I'm not worried that we're going to get killed. I'm not worried that Omsk is going to be able to actually fight and win. I'm just worried that the fight against Omsk is going to be a little bit more of a slog than I would otherwise like it to be. Okay, so we developed the free territories. After that, what do we want next? Poverty rate starts to improve. Economic base will begin to improve as well. Yeah, let's... You know, no, let's get poverty rate. Because poverty rate now is still absolutely in the gutter. And you'll be finished next month. Fantastic. Facing inwards. On you go, on you go. Last stop for us there. You already gripped the suitcase tightly in his sweaty palms. The Trans-Siberian Railroad was like the sun. It was reliable and omnipresent. Yuri smoothed out his suit and stretched, standing up from his seat. It was nice to have something to ground him in reality. He could barely believe how everything had changed, like a train barreling its way down the tracks with the brakes cut. They had to run out of rail eventually, right? One day the people would realize that killing everyone in a mob would not be a solution to the problem, surely. He wouldn't be the one to find out. Yuri stepped on the train. Here he was, Bisk. Yuri looked around at any sight of civilization. He was the only one stepping off the train after all. He had been briefed that the city was a backwater. It was his job to do his best appraisal, see what was good as it is, and what could be improved, and what had been scrapped entirely. Before it could be collapse of, well, before the collapse of, well, everything, Yuri did the same job, yet just often accompanied by armed guards and motivated by a large pay. Now he was alone, in anarchy, looking at a bunch of sheep farmers tasked with turning the city into a metropolis. Yuri walked around the city, if one can even call it that. For most of the rural part of the village of Byask kept to themselves, which made gathering info difficult. He saw a bar in the distance, the only thing more common than the rail in Russia. Yuri walked in, sat down with his briefcase and jammed down the notes. Abruptly, he felt a tap on his shoulder. "Hey, stranger, who are you?" the barkeep asked. Yuri cleared his throat for answering. "I'm just doing surveying the town. Just a little research for the egg hats going over Bisk." Yuri laughed awkwardly. Damn it, why is he being so awkward? The one smiled, despite his nervous demeanor, and said, "Well, Yuri, I hope you say good things about us. We don't give the love we deserve." "We don't give this the love we deserve." The woman winked and walked away, leaving us stunned and confused Yuri alone with his notes. He shook his head and looked back at the paper, but the words were blurred. He looked back at the barkeep, conversing with an elderly man. The two shared a hearty laugh. Yuri swallowed and picked up his pen again, writing the simple phrase, "very human." Okay. Seems fine. So we have 48. Construction speed plus 15%. Again, that would be nice if we had any factories that we could use for construction, which we do not have. The problem is, like, everything costs money. Have you noticed that? Both in-game and real life, like, everything costs money. We can improve some stuff here. Military infrastructure. But the thing is, if we do this, we're going to have to give something up. You know what? Let's increase civilian production. We have one person supporting us. 50 support equipment, completely okay. One stability for some support, that's fine. I'm going to keep the infantry equipment for now. Yeah, you get the manpower. That seems fine. You are the main battle tanks. We're missing 142 of you. We have 40,000 rifles, so maybe I should have actually given them some stuff. And I'm going to train a bunch of you. Probably not 16 divisions. We'll train 9 of you up. I'm not going to deploy them. We're not going to deploy them quite yet, because we have 31,000 rifles. It probably means I can actually cut this in half then. And make more tanks and more aircraft. Seems like a good choice for us. So our new tank will be done in 7 days. A smarter academic base. Time and time again, societies crumble. All will agree it is usually a slow, painful process. However, there are many voices of dissent as to that exact cost. One prominent theory is that the foundation of any complex society is education. Molding adolescents to fit a role in any society is key to maintaining its longevity. When a society expresses conflict, be it an economic recession, civil war, or social conflict, money and attention are often drawn away from schooling, creating a vicious cycle that slows down technological progress and discovery and kills curiosity. So more factory output, more research speed, and more production efficiency cap. I will take all of those, no questions asked. Because are we... Okay, we're negative 10%. But it's not as bad as it was in the past. England and Wales are now at war. Okay, you know what? You do that. See, it doesn't really affect me too much. If England and Wales want to fight each other, that's completely okay. Who owns the Port of Plymouth? Cornwall just owns Plymouth. Okay. It looks like you guys down here have gone into a civil war. UNITA against MPLA. Not that we can really do too much to help any of those sides. And not that I really care about who wins in the Angolan Civil War. It doesn't make a huge difference to us. Because you're outdated. Let's get the T-64. It's going to be expensive. But I still think it's worthwhile. And of course, let's upgrade our tanks to be as good as we can possibly make them. But for right now, I think this is going to be a good time for us to end this episode. So thanks everybody for watching. My name is Wham. If you've enjoyed, run a thumbs up. Not enjoyed, click a thumb down. You want to see more, subscribe, and goodbye.